Hello, welcome to MJ Hobby Corner. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about Julie's new Goblin character for the role-playing game EzD6. Let's get to it. So, as I said in the introduction, I'm going to be giving a very brief kind of overview of Julie's new Goblin Beastmaster, Rayvina. And before I do that, I want to give a small update. Julie is still recovering. It's slow. She had a very serious infection, and she's still taking her antibiotics. Some days she wakes up good, other days not so good, and her eating is affected because it's affected her digestive system. And she's had surgery. She had her gallbladder removed. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of time. So hopefully soon. But she's been very excited about role playing, and her and I are both fans of Critical Role, and we've been watching some of the Critical Role episodes. And Julie's been really excited, like she really wants to get into a role playing game. So we decided on DM Scotty's new game, EzD6. I thought that the rules would be perfect for a player like Julie who's never ever played a role-playing game before. This is a system with very, very light rules, but simple but effective. And that's what I like about the system. And so we're going to be exploring the role-playing game as well as the adventures. So Julie, I'm going to also be doing a lot of kind of my own world building for the game, and I'll have to maybe come up with some house rules or something in order to use EzD6 with my world. But it's very simple because the rules, I don't have to worry about getting bogged down with rules. It really is a very fast role-playing system, and not only that, but a pretty clever role-playing system if you think about it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. The next few sessions, we're going to be experimenting with it, and Julie's going to be exploring this world that I'm coming up with. So in this video, I want to show you guys a couple of maps. Now, of course, the world is not yet fleshed out because a lot of this is going to depend on Rayvina's travels. Let's look at a little picture of Rayvina first. And that's kind of, I'm not a good artist, guys, so please excuse the picture, but it's doing the best that I can. And according to the description that Julie gave me, I'm very free with my players, and I try to play in a sort of sandbox environment where my players decide where to go, and they are just as important or even more important in making the story as I am. I'm really just there kind of guiding the story and introducing the information and the problems and whatever's happening, but they're the ones that decide where their characters go and what they do and how they grow their characters. And so that's what I want Julie to experience. So she's given me some basic descriptions of how she envisions her little goblin female. And this is a Goblin Beastmaster. That's her path, the path that she chose. And so she has ability. She has empathy with wild animals. She has some abilities there. She also has an ability which allows her, because of being a goblin and she's small, if there is broken terrain or anything in the area, she can take cover in these areas, take advantage of those areas because of her size. Okay, so that should bring some interesting things. And she has a little meerkat pet, because Beastmasters are allowed a pet. And but I'm also giving her access to a wolf. And the reason why so early is because of the storyline. Her goblins, her clan comes from a steppe society, and it is a very loose society in these grasslands. They are semi-nomadic, but they do come together once a year or twice a year. We haven't quite determined that yet, but the whole clan comes together from different regions of the steppe, and they join into one big, like kind of tent city. Let's just call it that. And then in front of this cave system nearby, and there they have a festival, and then what that festival is, we'll have to find out as Rayvina, if she decides to go back to her clan after doing her current job. And and basically it's just going to be a bunch of goblins, bunch of drunk goblins having fun, and whatever else. So that's going to be an interesting little thing if she decides to become a part of that. What she's going to be doing, this little steppe society of goblins, they have two goblins in this world are going to be pretty numerous. There's going to be quite a few different kinds of goblins, different races, along with humans, elves, your typical races that are on the EzD6 book. And these species, I'm going to be adding quite a few other species, including Minotaur. There might be some kind of Minotaur kingdom up in the mountains somewhere, and of course dwarves and all these different gnomes. Maybe not halflings. I may not include halflings in this world. I may just do gnomes. And then there will definitely be several races of elves, including dark elves and all this stuff. Now, in this game, what I do with my games, and now really these newer games that I'm thinking about, evil races, evil's going to be kind of a relative term. There will be, for example, in Dark Elf Society, which we normally think of as, the cliche is they're evil, right? They're always evil. The whole race is just evil. I'm moving away from that in this game. I'm going to say that, yeah, there are portions of Dark Elf Society that are maybe evil, individuals, leaders, right, that have evil intentions or whatever. But there are other parts of the society that are traders and trade with other societies, even though they themselves may not. For example, humans, they may not like humans, and I'm talking about referring to dark elves. Dark elves may not like humans, but they'll trade with them. I mean, trading is going to be a very important part of this society, and it doesn't matter what race you are. Orcs as well. There may be some orcs that are wild and crazy and warlike, and other orcs that are a little bit more kind of civilized and willing to trade whatever goods they have for whatever purpose, right? Same thing with the goblins. There will be some goblins that are troublemakers and that raid. They like to raid villages, or they like to raid little caravan trains that come by, right? Even the caravan trains of other goblins. And caravan trains are going to be very important on land for moving goods and for trading. And that brings us back to Rayvina, because she's going to be usually the goblins in her little clan, when they come of a certain age, many of them are trained as caravan guard, as warriors. She's a beastmaster, so her kind, which is not very common, is going to be important, because these caravan trains normally go through wilderness areas, and so a beastmaster can be useful. So can a conjurer. And many conjurers have their own kind of business that they conduct within these caravan trains, like in their destinations. But they will accompany some of these caravan trains and offer their magic as protection and all that. So that's where Rayvina comes in. Rayvina is a young goblin beastmaster, female, and she is going to, she's still young, she's still a little green, but she's a very curious individual, and that's how Julie describes her. So that's all I'll say, because I don't know how Julie's going to act in the game, or how she's going to really, what kind of personality she's going to give to Rayvina. We don't know that yet. But Rayvina has this thing to kind of explore. She has a lot of curiosity, but she is right now part of these caravan guard. Okay, and usually her little clan has two large trains that leave their little tent city, um, and one of them goes south into the scorching lands. It's a long journey, but they go south, and there they trade a lot of important materials. They will trade with some of the nomadic humans and some of the civilizations that exist in that area. Julie's own clan is very much used to dryness because they are from the steppes, and so yeah, it's not something necessarily new to them, but of course the desert is a little step up in terms of dryness and heat and all that. So it is a rough journey. And then they have another caravan that leaves north, and Julie has decided that Rayvina, she was given a choice, and Rayvina for her first adventure is going to be part of the caravan guard to the northern train. Well, we're going to call it train for now, a caravan train. And it's several little wagons, and they're all goblins. And we have some goblin guard on wolves. And we have Julie, who's going to be the beastmaster, and she's also going to be riding a wolf. And she's also in charge of, like, you know, speaking with the animals, making sure their needs are met. And of course, she's also going to have the challenge of keeping that meerkat safe from her wolves, because they're going to want to eat it. So we'll see how Julie deals with all those little problems. But and that's it. That's basically going to be the first adventure. She's going to move north. Don't know exactly what journey she's going to take or what exactly is going to happen, but it is a wilderness journey, and so anything can happen. So she's going to have to camp several times, and that's going to give us a lot of opportunity for her to meet the other goblins and kind of, you know, bring the whole story together as we role play. I will have to play all of the goblin NPCs, so yeah, we'll see how I do with that. It's going to be a lot of different little personalities. But here are some of the maps, and the first map, you'll see this map. This has details a lot of the northern region. And we see the goblin settlement in a little star right in the Great Steppe Belt, which is basically this grassland belt that divides this southern territory with the northern territories. And the brownish lines you see are major roads. Now, these roads are maintained. These roads have a lot of little side roads and game trails and things. Those are not in the scale of this map. They will be in other finer maps, finer scaled maps that I make for the actual adventures. And these are little handouts that I'll give to Julie so she knows where she's going and can kind of plan what's going on. Now, there will be a caravan leader who's an NPC, and that'll help me kind of guide the travel, right, of the caravan train. And then Julie's there to support and kind of give her story. All right. So you'll notice a yellow circle around a big part of what's called the Tethian realm. And this is controlled by an organization called the Merchants Guild. Simple. It is a very large, very wealthy organization, and they control this part, a very small part here, but they have other territories that they control throughout this world, and they are again very influential, very powerful. Now, to the north of them, there is a large territory that is controlled by an empire, and this is a very large empire. It's the largest empire of humans, and it in recent years it has other cultures that have been sort of absorbed into the empire, elves, some dwarves, and, you know, gnomes, and they've been absorbed into the empire and are now considered imperial citizens, while most of the empire is human. The empire has something like 23 legions. These legions vary anywhere from 4,000 to up to 6,000 Legion soldiers and Legion knights. and the knights are higher ranking individuals, usually taking the place of lieutenants and generals and that sort of thing. So there is a hierarchical ranking system to this imperial legion. And the legions are in these upper areas, this territory that is marked by the red lines. It has a strong influence. Now, this is the easternmost part of the empire, and this eastern tip of the empire is controlled by a city called Carpathia, the Emerald City, which is basically the jewel of the empire in this region. And all these other little cities and areas that are spread about this red line, they are pretty much like provinces and territories of the empire. And the empire has had a very mixed history. Right now, the emperor is trying to consolidate the empire. It has lost a lot of territory to conflict. It's trying to consolidate, and it's opening trade a little bit more. It's trying to really, not only open trade to help with resources of the empire that the empire will need. Otherwise, it's going to succumb. And so this emperor is being a little bit more open. Unlike past emperors, which have been a little bit more strong arm and militaristic, and that has led to a lot of war and conflict, and even threatened to divide the empire into two. So this emperor, and we don't know his name yet, we don't know anything else other than that, this territory is starting to become a little more open. Now, the imperial troops are still very, very suspicious, and they do keep an eye on whoever's entering these territories. So I'm not sure if Julie wants to go up there. Maybe she will. There's a lot of things she can do. There's contraband that moves in and out of the empire. There's areas of ruins and cave systems underneath these great forests that is considered to be imperial territory. And the empire doesn't even know all of these territories that exist. The empire may also hire someone like Julie for some kind of expedition. Recently, the emperor has been very interested in locating. He has a knowledge of history, and he's very much a historian. And one of the things that he's looking for is magical items that have been lost in antiquity and are supposedly spread all over the land. And as an emperor with so many legions, he has an organization that he's set up, and he's sending these troops, because they are imperial troops, just trained to go into these underground areas to look for these items, or wherever these items are, right? So that's possibly something where Julie, or Rayvina, let's get used to using her name, might be an area that Rayvina may be interested in joining one of these expeditions. We don't know. So again, we're going to leave it up to Rayvina to decide, and that's why I'm not going to give any more about the map, because we really don't know. I'm not going to develop anything until I know, after playing that first session, where Rayvina really wants to go. I'm going to have the immediate areas where she would travel. All that's going to be developed, but of course, Rayvina may decide to do anything. She could decide that maybe Caravan Guard is not for her, and she wants to become a pure adventurer and say, "Hey guys, it's been fun, but I'm gonna try my luck somewhere else." I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Julie decides. So she's gonna have enough material in front of her so that she can make these decisions, and that's it. Okay. So come join the adventures of Rayvina, played by Julie, and this is going to be with the EzD6 system by DM Scotty, and I'm very excited to try the system, and we'll have future videos. I will we will discuss a little bit of Rayvina's journey as she explores this world. So thank you very much, folks, and we'll talk very soon in the next video. I have a lot of stuff that I'm finishing, a lot of painting of miniatures, and I'm doing some also some dungeon terrain. And I'm working on quite a few little things, finishing things up. So we'll talk soon, and we're gonna have a miniature war game in the weekend, and I think our role playing days will be on Wednesday. So we're gonna try to play Tuesday, and then the game is uploaded, edited, and uploaded Wednesday. Okay, so that's kind of the schedule that I'm shooting for, and this way weekends will be open for our miniature war games. All right, so that's it, folks. Thank you, and we'll talk very soon. And come join us. See what happens.